Hi there, Gavin Thomas here, Assistant Principal at Penrice, and I oversee the options process with our Year 8s. So this is our main options presentation video. The idea of this video is to guide you through the whole process, go into detail about each different aspects of options, and so that by the end of this video you're fully aware of what you need to do over the coming weeks in order to complete the options process. So under normal circumstances, I would have a couple of hundred of you sat right in front of me now, students and parents alike, to go through this process. But hopefully under these current circumstances, this video will give you all the information you need in order to make some really good and informed decisions. So there are a few main aims of this presentation. Firstly, it's important that you really do understand the logistics of the process. We're then going to talk about our curriculum offer, why we offer what we offer and what the different pathways are. We're going to talk to you about some really quite exciting changes to our Year 9 offer this year, different to anything we've done in the past. And then really to finish off, it's the most important that you know how to make sense of all this information and you know how to support your child in making these decisions. So the options booklet is now available to you. This is probably the most important document in the process as it contains information about the general process, but also subject-specific information for every subject on offer. That is accessible via our school website. You can download that and you'll see when you download it that it's an interactive booklet and it allows you to go to the specific areas you need to go to in order to gain the information you need. We're now going to go through our curriculum offer in detail. We're going to look at the 4 strands of the curriculum and why we structure it in this way. So here you can see the 4 strands of our curriculum. So for your options, every student will take all subjects as part of the core curriculum. Then you will choose one of the Progress 8 option subjects, one of the EBAC option subjects, and finally you will choose 2 from the open bucket selection of subjects. Our core curriculum offer consists of qualifications in maths, English and science. Every student will take a GCSE in maths, 2 in English, language and literature. In science, all students will study the same curriculum in Year 9, and then towards the end of the year, we will make decisions whether your child goes on to study triple science. If they do end up taking triple science, there will also be an additional lesson once a week after school in Year 10. 2 non-qualification subjects make up the rest of our core curriculum. Every student will continue to take part in PE lessons with also the option of taking additional PE lessons with their open bucket option. And every student will also still take part in class lessons. That's our culture, lifestyle and society studies. This is a non-examined subject and includes the compulsory religious studies curriculum. In order for you to understand why we set out our curriculum like we do, it's vital really to understand what Progress 8 means. Now the Progress 8 measure is a national benchmark which ensures students receive a broad and balanced curriculum. The Progress 8 measure includes English and maths, 3 subjects which are defined as EBAC qualifications, so your sciences, your humanities, your languages, and then 3 other level 2 qualifications. For the Progress 8 strand of your options, you will choose one of these 5 subjects. If you are choosing a language in this strand, you will choose from French or Spanish, and that will be the language that you have studied in Year 7 and 8. If you are choosing one of the humanities, it's either history or geography, or you may have received a letter of recommendation for applied geography. A number of you would have received a letter of recommendation to choose the EBAC pathway for your options. Now, the EBAC is a combination of subjects which recognise academic excellence. To complete the EBAC, you will study your English, maths and science, and then alongside that you will also study a humanity, so either history or geography, and a language. The EBAC curriculum is a good indication of rigorous academic success to future employers and universities. So when choosing your options for the EBAC strand, those of you who are following the EBAC pathway, you must ensure that within the first two strands you have selected both a humanity and a language. For those of you not following the EBAC pathway, we have selected 4 further choices covering a broad range of subjects. I just want to take a moment to talk about languages at Penrice. Now, I do understand that for some students, choosing a language at GCSE level, you might feel a little bit apprehensive about doing that. And you might feel perhaps you don't know as much in your languages as you do in some of your other subjects at the moment. And that perhaps is understandable, because if you think about it, you only started studying for your language at the start of year 7, so you've actually spent less time studying it at the moment. But I want to reassure you that firstly, we have an excellent languages team here at Penrice, both in terms of the teaching that they provide, but also the support that they give throughout the process. As a result of that, the outcomes for our students are exceptionally high year on year, both in terms of the grades that they achieve, but also the progress that all students make. So really, I just want to say that languages at Penrice are accessible for all and attainable for all. So if you are thinking, languages might not be for me, just ask you to reconsider that, bearing in mind all the support and the success we achieve at Penrice. And finally, we have the open strand of the options. Now in this strand, you select 2 subjects. Many of those subjects you'll be familiar with, you'd have studied them in Key Stage 3, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 titles there where you're not so familiar with the subject. So what I really suggest is you look at the options booklet, read through, and if it's not clear, if you're not sure about anything, have some questions ready to ask your tutor for those phone conversations which are coming up. Looking at the range of options, those that are highlighted in orange, they are your very academic options. Now, it's worth thinking about that when you are looking at your selection as a whole. Do you want very academic subjects across the board, or do you perhaps want to look at a bit of variety and something that's completely different for the open options? When you're thinking about which subjects you're going to choose, obviously you want to be choosing them for the right reasons, not because your friends are taking them or anything like that. You want to be thinking about those subjects, firstly, that you think you're going to enjoy, and secondly, that you think you're going to be able to excel in. You know, the combination of those 2 things, if you can get those into your options, you're going to do well. If you look towards the bottom of the selection, you will see animal care. Just a note about that. Those of you who are able to select animal care are those who received a letter of recommendation. So please only select that if you received that letter of recommendation. Whilst we make every effort to ensure that all students receive their first option choices, there may be some situations where courses don't run. Either not enough students have selected that course, so it's not viable, or sometimes a course may be oversubscribed, in which case it's vital that all students put down a reserve choice on their options form so that we can turn to that if needed. I mentioned earlier about the exciting changes to Year 9. So the purpose of Year 9 from September is to choose and develop the subjects you love and wish to know more about, to enrich your understanding of the wider content of these subjects and their place in the world of work, and the possible pathways they can offer. Your subject teachers will deliver a curriculum that offers breadth and depth far beyond that of any exam specification. Some examples of this include in languages, where you have the opportunity to sponsor a child in a French or Spanish speaking country and learn more about their culture. In subjects like child development and health and social care, you'll have the opportunity to visit the world of work and see where these subjects can take you. In business, the Tenor Challenge provides an opportunity to learn about profitability. And in computer science, students will get the chance to develop an app and compete in national competitions. And of course, for all subjects we offer, we will have these enrichment opportunities. From February onwards in Year 9, students will begin to learn specific aspects to be successful in the qualification and build upon the breadth of knowledge already gained during the enrichment phase of Year 9. At this point, we will make final decisions about which Level 2 qualification you will gain in each of these subjects. And on to the final options choices form. So these forms aren't available until after the tutor conversations. They will go live on the morning of Friday the 8th of May at 9 AM. You'll receive an email notification with a link to the form. It's all done online. If you submit a form and then realise that you've made an error on it, don't worry about that. You can resubmit the form and we will always take the last one that you submitted. I mentioned before about reserve choices. Please do think really carefully about these reserve choices for the reasons I mentioned before. You know, it might be that is something we use. However, linked to that as well, when you put down your options, you will have the opportunity to put down any additional information alongside one of your options. Perhaps it leads to a particular career pathway, etc. So please, again, think about the information to put down there and include anything that you think is relevant. There's no rush to complete these forms. It's certainly not done on a first come, first served basis. I won't look at any of these forms until the deadline passes, so please do take your time over it. And speaking of the deadline, that is 9 AM on Friday the 15th of May. So looking at key dates now, booking will open for the parent-tutor conversations from tomorrow. That's Wednesday the 29th of April. Now that you've had this information and you've received your options booklet, it's important, I'm sure questions will be thought of, and it's important to have somebody to talk to about those questions. And booking those conversations with the tutor will give you the opportunity to do that. That day will happen on Thursday the 7th of May, that's Thursday of next week. And after that date, at 9 AM on Friday the 8th of May, that's when the option forms go live and you'll be able to select your options. So parents and students of Year 8, I really hope you found this video useful alongside the options booklet with all the subject information. We completely understand, given this current situation, how some of you might be feeling a little bit anxious about the whole process. Again, I'll say, please don't worry about a thing. We are here to support and guide you. We want you to challenge yourselves with the decisions you make and ensure also that you have a really successful next 3 years at Penrice as you eventually become our class of 2023. So Year 8, I wish you all the best, and I really look forward to working closely with this year group as you journey through the rest of your time at Penrice.